Hey everybody, it's your girl Onyii, and summer is ending, but I came out with this one last top for it. I love it so much. It is more of an outdoor top, but personally for me, I'll be using it to go to my university classes. Disclaimer, 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 this top doesn't have any back ties or buttons or any of the sort. So if you have a specific body type that needs that kind of thing, then I'll have the written pattern posted on my blog so you can alter it if you need to. If y'all hear any noise, that's my neighbor's kids. They're playing really loud, but it doesn't bother me, so that's what's up right now. Anyway, so the first thing I do is I measure my bust, and that came out to 32 inches. And then after that, you measure your under bust, and that was 29. And what I do is I take the average of those, and that is 30 inches, and that's going to be the length of my chain. And I take the average because I want it to be able to fit over my breast because my breasts are so large, while also not being too baggy on my torso area. When you finish measuring, use your bigger hook. For me, that was my 5mm crochet hook, and measure out your 30-inch chain. And for me, I came out with 105 chains. And then when you're done, just put it all together with a slip stitch. When you're done, chain 2, and we're going to do half double crochets. So go in that very first one, yarn over. I mean, y'all know how to do this. And then for me, because I never see anything I'm doing, I'm just gonna put a bobby pin as my stitch marker in that very first one, so I know what to do. And then it's easy peasy as that. Just put half double crochets in all of them. Make sure it doesn't get twisted. Okay, when you're at the last one, take out your stitch marker. And you're going to do, you're going to do a slip stitch in that first stitch. And then you're going to chain 2. Now we're going to turn that around, and this is what you'll do at the end of every row. You're going to turn it around, and you're going to go into that very first one and do a half double crochet. I'm sorry, it's so blurry. And then put your stitch marker. And I just want to say that you will not do a half double crochet in there, right in there, ever. So I'll show you when I get back around. Oops. So like I said, we're at the very last one. Skip that, take out your stitch marker. Do a regular old slip stitch, and it's blurry again, yay. Chain 2 and turn, or you can turn and chain 2, whatever floats your boat. And then do it in the very first, sorry, I have my stitch marker in my mouth. Do a half double crochet in the very first chain space that you see. There you go. Put it back and just keep repeating for however long you want your top to be. Hey guys, so we're finished, and I did mine till it was about 9 inches. Feel free to make it a crop top or anything you like. This will be an almost everyday top for me, so I would want it pretty long. Anyway, the next thing you're going to do is we're going to make the triangles for the bra area. And I've already sectioned off my my tank top, and basically each triangle is going to have 24, and so you'll need a total of 48. Okay, so I just put the stitch marker so it can just have the 24th of the 48, and now we can go ahead and join. Put your stitch marker so it is on the first stitch, and then just do half double crochets around, and that was a half double crochet the first one, just in case y'all didn't get it. But yeah, so I finished the 24, and remember, everyone's body is different. If you have to do less, if you have to do more, then do that for your triangles. I do have pretty large breasts, and because I want this top to cover my bra, I feel like 24 is a good number for me. But anyway, after you finish your 24 half double crochets, you're going to chain 2. I cannot crochet on camera for the life of me. Okay, and then turn. And now we're going to start a decrease. This is the only time you will decrease in the beginning of a row. After this, you will be decreasing at the end. So I'm going to decrease 3. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 1. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on your hook, and then you're going to just pull through all 3 of them. And then, because like I said, I am blind, I can never see my first stitch. I'm just going to put my stitch marker there. If you are amazing at crocheting, then, you know, do whatever you want to do. And then you're going to keep half double crocheting like normal until the last 3 at the end. I'm at my last 3. I'm going to take out my stitch marker. Same thing, yarn over, 1, 2, and the very last one, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pull through all of them. Watch me struggle. There you go. Chain 2 and turn. Remember, we will not be decreasing in the beginning, only at the end. So I'm just going to half double crochet like normal. Put my stitch marker. I'm at the end and I have 3 left. Where's the last one? Okay, and there you go. So just keep going and decrease at the end of every row, as you guys can see, and I'll see you when I'm done. Alright, so we're done with that, and I left 2 stitches on the top, and that's where the strap is going to be. And I know you're looking at the triangle and you're like, oh, it's so small. Don't worry, if you're the same bra size as me, it will be totally fine. And I'm just here to instruct you about the next triangle. We will be starting right here, since that is the middle. Wait, I lied. Is that? Okay, oops, sorry, I had it inside out. I was trying it on earlier. But yeah, we'll start at the next available space. So it's that one. If you want to leave maybe like 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 stitches in the middle, go for it. I like it better if there's absolutely no space, so I can kind of guarantee an almost V. But yeah, and we will just join right here, do our 24, decrease the beginning of the first one, same thing. So we're done with the triangles. The closer we are to finishing this, the more excited I get. But anyway, we're going to do the edging first with the scalloping. So flip it from the back, flip it to the back, and we're going to start here since there's already a seam, and we're going to join our yarn. Chain one, and then we're going to do single crochets all the way around. Just like that. For the triangles, there's not really much I can say to you other than just put it wherever, it fits. If you see a hole, put it in there. Don't force anything. Try to make it stay even as possible. Here's one triangle done, and you can see I try to keep it as straight as possible. There is a little bit of a bend here, so I may go back and try to fix that. But if I was to wear it like that, it would be awesome. So just do that all the way around until you're back at the back. Here we are, and what I did was just slip stitch it to bring it all together, and I'm going to start our scalloping edge, and all I'm going to do is chain 3, 2, 3, and in that same hole, mine's is pretty large for some reason, in that same hole we're going to do 4 double crochets. There you go. So you should have a total of 5 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to skip the next one, and we're going to we're going to slip stitch into this one right here. And that's how we do it. And to start the next one, all we're going to do is skip this one and double crochet into the next one. And do that 4 more times. Here we are, and same thing. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So skip that one and then go into the next one with a slip stitch. So this is the design that would be going on throughout the entire top. So this is where I'm stopping. Well, I haven't really stopped. I still have my yarn in, but I stopped here because I need to start my straps. So I went ahead and wore it, and I I marked where I wanted the end of the strap to go, and my strap has 4 layers to it. 4 layers, maybe 4 rows, whatever the word is. And so another thing I wanted to explain to you is sorry, I got a text message, so I'm trying to read it and talk at the same time, and it's not working. Okay. Like I was saying, I have already marked my 4. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4. But the thing with this is, if I had gone ahead and done another one, then the scallops would have kind of traveled over to my straps, and I didn't want that. So what I did was I just slip stitch twice. And you may have to slip stitch 3 times, 2 times, because I don't have an even number here. I just do whatever I like. I hope that makes sense, you guys. Just slip stitch if you don't want to do any more scallops. So now we're just going to do our straps, and there's really nothing to it. We're just going to let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to have to slip stitch again. So actually 3 times. And then I'm going to just chain for however long you want your strap to be. I really don't know the length. I'll put it on my blog to see. Well, you may not even be the same size as me, but if you are, then I'll put on my blog how many I chained and what length it was, and you can see for yourself if you want that. You may have to add more, you may have to do less. It just depends on you. So just keep chaining and chaining and chaining until it's at the length you want. I finished chaining and I'm just going to join the yarn, and I'm doing it on the very first stitch on the scallop, and just make sure that this is not twisted at all. I mean I probably twisted it. I may have to go back. Pull this through. Now go into the next stitch and do another slip stitch, and then you can go ahead and single crochet. I hope that's what we're doing. Yeah, we're going to single crochet all the way down or back up. Just like that. I made it back to the front, and I am just going to do another slip stitch, and then do another slip stitch right there. Flip it over. Flip it over, and then just go ahead and do the same thing you were doing before with the single crochets. This is probably the wrong way to do it. I am not a professional crocheter. There's probably a way better way, but this is what I've been doing since forever. Same thing, we've made it back to the back, and we're going to do a slip stitch. And then we're going to do our very last slip stitch on the back. And honestly, you can stop right here, but I do like my straps to be a little bit thicker, and I want to end up back on the front to resume my scallops. So just again, turn it and single crochet back over. And we're back on the front for the very last time. And same as always, it's not really how you do it. Single crochet. So there's your lovely little strap, and now we can just resume our scallops. So I'm just going to single crochet right there too, and then same thing as always, double crochet, you know the drill. So there you have it. So keep going and going until you are at the next triangle, and then do the exact same thing, and we can go ahead and do our lacing. Guys, this is turning out amazing. I am just so proud of it. So here it is, you guys. It is looking so good. I've worn it and I just love it. Don't mind the unwoven ends. But I mean, you could leave it like this without the lacing. It would look really good. But we're gonna go ahead and start on that. So if you see, I've already started with my lacing details. If you go on my blog, you'll see the type of yarn I used. I'm only saying that because I cannot for the life of me remember right now, so I'll have to go back and check. But yeah, we're gonna start on that. There's just a few things I have to tell you. The type of lacing we're doing is something called filet crochet. I hope I said that right. And what I did for my detail was a simple pattern. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. You can go ahead and make your own if you would like. But what the thing about my pattern is there's two different patterns. So you have the open square, and then I did a kind of a chevron. Well, you can kind of see it. It's not super big, so the chevron didn't come out as much as I wanted, but I still thought it looked really good. And what I did was I did the open square, and then I did the chevron 3 times, and then the open square, and then the chevron 3 times, and then the open square, yada yada yada. And I'm only going to show you how to do the chevron, and I'm saying this because by the time you do 3 chevrons, you will know how to do an open square. Okay, the open square is just the chevron without these 3 filled in squares. That's it. So I'm going to show you how to do the chevron. So for the lacing details or the filet crochet, I used a 2mm hook, and the description for the yarn will be posted on my blog, but I'm not going to show you how to do it with the thread because you won't be able to see anything, trust me. So for teaching purposes only, I'm using a 5mm hook and some regular worsted weight yarn. Start with your slip knot and chain 15. Now in the 4th chain, you're going to do a regular double crochet. 1, 2, 3, that's our 4th one. I added a little stitch marker to help me out. And then you're just going to double crochet all the way down. Now you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to flip it over, and you're just going to do a double crochet in the very first one, and then double crochet 2 more times. Then you're going to double crochet 3 more times. So you should have a total of 7. Okay, now you're going to chain 2. And you're going to skip 2 and double crochet in that 3rd one. Okay, and then you're going to double crochet the last 3. Now we're going to chain 5. That was 4, 5. Okay, and now we're going to go into that 4th chain, and we're going to do our double crochet. So here's the 4th one. Do it on top of there. And then you're going to double crochet 2 more times. So you have a total of 4 there. Then you're going to chain 2. and you're going to skip those two, and you're going to double crochet under this last column. Now we're going to make a square right here, so you're just going to double crochet twice in that open space, and then you're going to double crochet on right here to the stitch next to it. Now you're going to chain 2, and you're going to skip 2 and double crochet into that third one. And then you're going to double crochet the last 3. This one is always the hardest one for me. There you go. And now crochet 3, chain 3 I mean. Chain 3, and what I do, because I suck at crocheting and I don't know how to get about this, but I skip that first one and I go into that second one, and that's what I do for the rest of the time. So you'll have a little bit of a gap like you see here. I don't mind it as much. So double crochet 2 more times. Okay, then chain 2, go into skip 2 of course, go into this one right here. Okay, chain 2, skip 2, go into that one right there. Double crochet twice in this hole. And then do a double crochet underneath that pillar. And then double crochet the last remaining 3. Remember you guys, I am an amateur crocheter. If you have any way to make this better, because I know I'm winging a lot of these rules, please tell me. I love criticism. Constructive criticism, of course. Okay, there you go. And now we're going, see, it's starting to look a lot like this one. Anyway, we're going to chain 3. See, this is really easy, you guys. There's just a couple of rules you need to follow. So of course, where am I? So of course I skip this one, always the first one, except the very first time. One more, you need 4. Chain 2, skip 2, go into that third one. Please don't mind the noise, my mom is cooking. Then double crochet into that hole. Okay, and then double crochet in there. You have 4. We're going to chain 2. We're going to double crochet in there. And then we're going to double crochet the last remaining 3. Okay, nearly done. Chain 3. Skip that first one, go in there. Double crochet 2 more times. Now we're going to double crochet twice inside our hole. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 2, go into that third one. Now we're going to double crochet twice, and then we're going to double crochet, and there is our chevron, you guys. This is really easy. As you can see, you have a kind of an arrow going down, as you see here, and then it's the same thing. So you would start all over again by, our next line would be this one. So you would chain 5. Okay, we're doing this row right here. So of course you would turn it around, do the 4th one. Okay, and double crochet 2 more times. Okay, and then you would chain 2. Skip 2. So same thing, you guys. I'm not going to redo this row, but all I'm doing is just copying this one right here. So the next one would be a filled in, then an empty, and then a filled in. Easy as that. And once you do that 3 times, then you're ready to do the open square. And like I said before, just don't fill in these 3. Okay, it would just be chain 2, move over. Same thing for here, chain 2, move over, chain 2, move over. Nothing super fancy. I'll have the picture, and I hope I'll have the directions on my blog. Check that. If I don't, keep bothering me, and I'll make sure I'll post it. So guys, we're basically finished. I finished with my lacing, and it ended up being 24 of these, just 24. So I don't know yet if that's too big or too small. I'll figure it out once I start sewing. And another good idea is to finish with a border on each side, just to make it easier when you're sewing it down. That's what I did. And then I'm just going to sew it down. I'm not going to show you guys how I sew down the lace because I suck at sewing and I don't want y'all to go through that. But do whatever method you prefer. My plan of action, if you can even call it that, is to sew it down here one line on top, and then at the bottom of the squares I'll do another line right there, and so that way I have like two pillars of support. And I was thinking of leaving this flapping in the wind, but yeah, that's it, and you're basically done with your tank top. So just weave in your ends and you're done. Thank you so much for crocheting this with me. It means a lot when you guys just even look at my patterns. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. Until next time, this is Onyii.